Hey, yeah. So I said I'm not gonna do any more videos unless I see things that I feel like I need to comment on, and then I wake up and I find things I need to comment on. So every time you try to get out, they pull you back in. Okay, so what did I see? I saw like there's some kind of a trend. Now talking about quantum immortality, claiming that you don't ever die because every time you die, the the reality in which you die collapses of the men according to the many worlds interpretation, and then you continue on the reality where you didn't die, and that will happen for forever, and then you never die. So I heard that and I was like, wow, that like this is so. Okay, let's start from the basics. The problem with the many worlds interpretation is that it describes existence as an experiential agent where your intentions don't get to determine your next action at all. Eh, You don't you don't come along for the ride. You're just making up stories to explain what happened. But you you make it plan to raise your arm, and because there are all the options for the quantum state, for the quantum next state that can be, or the infinite amount, then you, instead of your intentions to raise your arm, you raise your leg, and that's the reality we live in. We make a decision to raise the arm, and we raise the leg, and we just deal with it. So that's the problem with quantum, with the idea of the many worlds, and quantum uh, immortality, which assumes the many worlds interpretation. That's the problem with it as well. It means that if quantum immortality exists, then you don't get to come along for the ride. Your experience as being part of a reality has nothing to do with what's actually happening to you, not to someone else, to you. Uh, okay, so but then again, but there's such a mess here because uh, some of the realizations here are actually true according to the theory, but not for any reason that quantum immortality argues. So it's a complete mess. Uh, so, okay, here. First, the idea is that you never die. Yes, the experience, according to the theory, is fundamental. I said that before, and therefore, you don't actually, experience doesn't end. And when you die, when your experiential intersection, where your current identity dies, your experience just drifts to a different body. Now, it's not that you will never die. Uh, you are living in a reality with other experiential agents. The theory assumes they exist. Assume there's something that's like to be them, and they are living with you. And if they see you die, then you die in the shared reality. What I call the wakeful union, which is not really a reality, just an illusion. So you can just live forever, and if it doesn't matter what your quantum state is, if they perceive you as living, then you continue to live, and if they perceive you as dead, then you're dead. And if they perceived you as dead and then perceive you as being alive, then you're alive. Then the thing that it's like the body, that your corporeal body is again sufficient for intersection of experience, and experience there will be something that's like to be that body. So that's what the theory says. So So that's not quantum immortality in that sense, but experience is immortal if you want to call it that. But you don't keep anything from your previous body, so it's not immortality in the sense that quantum immortality is talking about. So, like, someone who doesn't understand this could think that what this theory says is exactly the same as quantum immortality, but it's not. Again, because the body doesn't persist in the kind of immortality that segmented aspects uh, is talking about. But there's also, and then there's another thing. So what the quantum immortality proponents argue is that every time you have like a near-death experience, what happens is that you actually did die in one of the many worlds, and you continue to live in those versions that didn't make the choice that would end up with your death. So here's the thing: it's not that the version of reality, that only the version of reality where you live persists and the rest collapse. You can die, or like your body, your experience can't end, but your body can definitely die according to the theory. But what can happen is that the body can utilize experiential capacities to live a bit longer, to survive things that it wouldn't survive otherwise. For example, there's something the theory calls body drift, where the body turns off, makes the experiential intersection untenable for a short duration, and then turns it back on. Basically, what it does is tells experience, okay, leap like 1 second into the future. Doesn't matter like let's do this like in 1 second, and when experience comes back in, it renegotiates its body so that it's a body that can persist to exist. So it's not a continuous progression in the wakeful physical sense, but it's still the same. It's the same body, and it's not. There's no collapse of reality. It's just a mechanism. And there's another mechanism which is linked to it, which is metatemporal evolution, which when experience wants it, it can leap to a reality that is not a linear, continuous progression from its present. It has the capacity to do so, and the body might actually make it, using a body drift or something like that, make it pick that reality. So it's not that the previous version of reality is like collapsing. It's simply that experience leaps into a version which is more successful, let's say, where it can persist to exist. And it happens sometimes. And it could be that you actually stepped into reality from out of nowhere, like you just populated a body. You leaped into an experiential intersection and there was no past before. I said it in a different video. It's possible that there was no past to the moment that you entered. You could have entered reality at that exact moment, your experience. And there's also the possibility that we are talking here about parabrains, where versions of you that populate the same avatar in the wakeful union get the experiential dominance, and therefore they control reality. And this shift feels like this near-death experience when different parapairs take control. So it's a big mess. It's not rigorously argued in terms of quantum immortality, and there's a lot of options how the theory could explain it. And it's if you hear about it, yeah, it's not a serious topic, I think.